Well, I certainly hope that y'all have had a good weekend, good week. I'm late getting this video out. This is my election video. Not really. But it is that time of year, and I pray that all Americans will vote for the man of your choice and that we have a peaceful transfer of power. So, let's get on with the video and leave all the political stuff alone. I got these blanks from Woodturnerz with a Z. Ryan's a real nice guy out there. I don't know him personally, but I have talked to him a couple of times. And his prices seem to be pretty good, and that's why I'm showing here. These are $3.75 for these particular blanks, or for one of the blanks. $11 total, $5 shipping. Really can't beat it. Came with the magazine with all their stuff. So I want to give a shout out to him, and I certainly appreciate it. Now, I did pay for these, but I still want to give a shout out to him and hope that everything goes his way also. I usually have these cards or something, and y'all have seen these before, where the label is on it and I'm able to mark the label. Now, today we're going to be using an Apprentice European pen kit, 24 karat gold plated, and this came from Craft Supply, and I bought 5 of them. That's what the 5 is there for. I bought 5 of those, and this is another one that I have done, and I'm using it to make a mark for the tube of where I'm going to cut it in half. And this next mark is just for the end of it. And I'll cut this off, and I always use this piece, or have started using this piece, and you'll see that later in the video. So cut it with the bandsaw, but you can cut it with any kind of saw. You could even cut it with a handsaw. As long as you got a little bit of space in there, it doesn't really matter what you use. You just want to do a good straight cut. And we're fixing to drill the 7mm hole into the blank, which is the 7mm is what size tube, and this 7mm is the size that you use with this particular pen kits. I forgot to say that this is an acrylic acetate type of blank, so it drills easier, and as long as I was seeing stuff coming out, every time I pulled it out, it wasn't clogging up or anything like that. So I did enjoy the way that it does. With wood, you really can't do that. And I just had read somewhere, heard somewhere to go slow. This is my first resin type pen blank. Done a bunch of different wood pens. Enjoy those. I enjoy both of them. Just seems to be something a little different, and very, very impossible to make wood look like this. So I'm interested to see how the final product turns out. I did slow the video down. I tried to get rid of all the in-between stuff and just keep the critical stuff. I am going to have to speed it up though on some of this, just to kind of go through it. But I want you to kind of see everything, and I hope I make sense as far as what I'm explaining and how it works. Okay, so we got the first pen blank, or first part of the pen blank, drilled out, and now we're drilling the hole in the next one. Again, it doesn't have to be super critical. You want to keep it as close to the center as you can, but it doesn't have to be exactly center. Or at least I really hadn't seen a difference in it. And now I'm just putting this on This is the reamer that actually cleans up the metal tube, and I'm scuffing them up to put glue on it so that the glue's got something to stick to. And I'm just using a medium glue that came with a kit, and we'll set it here and let it dry just a bit. Of course, I did both of them, and I hit it with some Starbond accelerator, which works with this glue also. Then we're going to go back to the reamer and clean up the ends until I can barely see a little bit of brass being cut. Then I know it's flush. And here again also I'm trying to cut out some of the redundancy stuff. Now these bushings came with the kit for this particular pen, and I'm actually doing it right, but I'm loading it up backwards from the way I normally do it. So I do have the center bushing and the two end bushings in the wrong place. And about halfway through it, I catch it, and I don't spin the blanks around. I've already caught it at this point, and this is what I'm talking about. So I just move the pen blanks to where they're in the appropriate position. And I think that was an earthquake. I don't know why I didn't cut that out. Well, I do like the way it curls up, and it doesn't produce a lot of dust. I have a mask on, but I'm really more talking about getting all over my hands and things like that. Now, I mean, when I've done resin before with different things, now I went to a different type of cutter, to a round blade. I'm going through this really fast, but I wanted you to kind of see, because it is a type of resin, I'm moving up really slowly: 100, 120, 180, 240, 320, and 400, and then 600, and I'm just wiping the dust off at that point. Oh, and I have been doing it every time in between each of the grits. 800, 1000. Now at this point we're starting to get really fine, so I'm taking denatured alcohol and really cleaning it. It didn't look like I did it that long, but I've got it speeded up. Now I'm at 1500. I was out of the 1200 that I normally have, and I would have gone to 1500, but I just did it a little bit longer. And cleaning it up after each one. All this is alcohol. And this is 3000 wet. And it doesn't take a whole lot on this, and you can use these pads quite often, multiple times. And 5000. These are all 3M products, not all of them, but the last couple ones are 3M products. And all this came from the way I used to do things in the powder coating business. I was able to really polish powder coating. And this is the polish that I use. This is the final step. They already look good from just the sandpaper, but this is what's going to really make it shine and feel super slick. I turned this down to regular speed. I wanted you to kind of see how long. Also, I put more polish on this than I should have. I used it all up, but it didn't necessarily take this much. It's already starting to really shine, look good. Been wanting to do this for a long time. It's amazing I'm just now getting to this with my YouTube videos, and I have so many things that I want to try, but I also want to start going back to stuff that I've been doing to make it look different and try different things. I wish you could really see it. It looks, well, I wish you could see it in person is what I'm saying. I know you can see it, but it looks much shinier. The only thing you kind of see is just the reflection of the one light above me. This is the cutoff piece that I was talking about in the very beginning off the blank, and I usually just use it. I've been trying to think about ways of just what you have, whatever anybody has, if they have a lathe, and how they can just use it because they already have the lathe. When I put the transmission in, I got to thinking maybe I can turn this around, and this tip is thicker metal. Maybe it would support pressing it like this a little bit better. And so I think it did, and I think I'm going to continue using it that way as opposed to the other way. And then this is just putting the cap on the end of it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something. And if you're doing pens, feel free to send me a picture of one of the pens you've done. Here's a couple of this pen after I've lined up the grain, if you want to call it that. And I hope that y'all all go and vote on November 3rd, which is just a few days away. Also, if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and also leave a comment. Thank you. And please remember, God is good.